Thank you very much, Riv. And next up, we've got Coast versus the Masters of the Maniacal Laugh, Evil Geniuses. And these two teams had a rough start to the week, chat.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams should really have a focus this game early on in the match because they have excelled when they can develop a slight lead right off the bat and then just continue to capitalize on it. I mean, that's how EG got their first victory of the LCS against CLG, as they were able to get a really nice teleport down by Inox, and he started off that game well.
Yeah, of course, now Coast looked all right into the late game against Curse, but then against Dignitas, they fell behind early, and it was a rough game.
Yeah, Coast had a disastrous early game in that one. We've seen a couple just really lackadaisical rotations by these teams, especially in the early COD game today. But Coast sent 4 people bottom lane, and then just weren't able to get much else. They got 1 turret, they lost 2 turrets on the other side, and never really recovered from that.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can make some new changes. Now, coming into a new league and a new season, unfamiliarity can be a team's best weapon, and it's one the Evil Geniuses are hoping they can use as they invade the NA/LCS.
I think they're a strong group of players. I especially respect Crepo's support. I think he's a lot smarter than people think. He's just a really solid player.
I think the team's strengths are that no one really knows about us that much. One thing we need to work on is just team practice. We need more time. Like, we only formed in December. We only started practicing in December. We're a very new team in that regard.
There's a lot of hype over them. Evil Geniuses, they go back a long way. I think they're definitely a little bit of a shadow of their former self.
As a team, we're inexperienced, so we need to work on play calling. We need to work on pick and ban process. 3 of us have done this before in CLGU and in the Evil Geniuses team last year, so we know what to do, and just always left is the execution.
Well, we'll see if they can execute Coast here in this game, bring themselves up to 2-2 to end the week. We've seen a lot of teams turn it back around at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, we're also seeing that anything can happen in the LCS. Every team that we've talked up just today has fallen, and every team we've talked down upon has just came back with an amazing victory. So,
all right,
if we're that logic, Coast should just stomp them here.
Coast to 2-0 the rest of the day. We'll see what happens. Let's check out the starting lineups, guys. In the blue side, it is Team Coast matching their uniforms. Zion Spartan in top, Nintendude in the jungle, Shifter in mid, Wiz Fusion on AD carry, and Daydreamin' at support.
And on the red side, it is, of course, the Evil Geniuses with Inox in the top lane, Snoopy in the jungle, Pope Belter in the mid lane, Wildcard right there, Yellow Pete on AD, and Crepo already laughing on support.
Always laughing. I like the teams that have smiles on pretty much 24/7. If I could have a team of Kiwi Kids and Wild Turtles.
Who are the best smilers in the NALCS?
So Wild Turtle #1. Like
yeah,
he is the S tier of smile.
Yep.
I was just going to do a tier list, like position list. But
do you have to do position?
I mean, we could make the team of... I mean, you could just pull a CLG and they could all be 80 carries.
True.
All right. So Kiwi Kid, whether he's top or support, doesn't matter. Wild Turtle, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a Cutie Pie.
I think, yeah, Cutie Pie's up there. Crepo's up there.
That's already 4.
Yeah.
Is there another smiler?
I mean, there's got to be.
We'll think
Hot shot after game 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Hot shot, victory, hot shot, GG.
Sure.
Victory shot.
Victory shot, GG. That's it. Throw javelins. If they land, it's a victory shot. If you miss, it's a defeat shot.
Yeah.
I think that's how the champion works.
And this game, I'm actually pretty interested to seeing how Coast can control the champion selection. We know that getting Poe Belter onto something that he's uncomfortable with, or forcing them into kind of the overpowered champions that they want to pick, have worked well against them.
Yeah.
EG had a bit of a misstep. As a team, Crepo was pointing out to us when they picked Yasuo and Kassadin in the same team comp. Yeah. That won't happen this time because they just banned Kassadin.
Well, there you go. So no Kassadin here for Shifter. Vi Renekton dropped away, so Coast spreading out their bans a bit here against EG, saying we're going to remove some of the top tier, and we're going to grab what we want from what's left.
I also see... I wonder if Zion Spartan wants to play Assassin's top against Inox. We have a really big opportunity here to see a very aggressive top lane.
Yeah.
Only because Inox generally doesn't play the conventional things. The Mundo was kind of a one-off for him yesterday. And Zion Spartan, most banned against Coast actually in the last split was Riven because Zion Spartan was so dominating with it. These guys might go toe-to-toe on some squishy champions.
And both these guys have played Yasuo top lane so far. Of course, both teams have lost on it for what it's worth, but I've seen these guys go for the champion. It might be first pick bait here, oddly enough.
No.
I mean, maybe not, right? But, like...
I think it's definitely bait for getting picked, but I've seen, like, the early pick Yasuos have almost never worked out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's definitely fair. So the Kale banned away from Shifter as well. And, of course, it's with Elise banned. It's Olaf here for Zion. Not Zion, but a Nintendude.
Yeah, too easy for them at that point. I like how Inox just locked in Riven, though, because that is what Zion Spartan would have wanted to play. Now he's either forcing Zion Spartan onto a tank or onto something that he is not as comfortable with, because the Olaf is absolutely going in the jungle for Nintendo X.
There's like a 1% chance it's not, but it's like 99% that is jungle Olaf, unless there's a matchup that you really wanted out of this one. I just noticed Snoopy has a notebook as well now. He was holding it in that last shot we just saw of him, so clearly these guys have prepared for this matchup. They know the pick and ban orders.
And I prepared for this cast, because I have a notebook as well.
This isn't mine. I have Kobe's notebook. This is useful. It's yesterday's games.
Notebooks are preparation.
Cloud9 versus CLG, guys. You know, Kassadin was banned in that one. Useful information here. Ooh, Shifter getting the LeBlanc, the blind pick LeBlanc. We see that more and more now. Just a pick for everybody now.
And this is the type of team comp that Coast is most comfortable with. Whenever they have a jungler with substantial wave clear, and we need to watch for this during the game, he will come mid, shove, and then Shifter will roam. And at some point in the game, around the mid game, Shifter actually diminishes his farming substantially and becomes the ganker.
Yeah.
I really like this strategy. It's something I actually tried to do with Dignitas back in Season 1. We would run Kassadin and Udyr. This is just an evolution of that. LeBlanc, Olaf. The Olaf goes and becomes a mid laner while the mid laner becomes the ganker, because LeBlanc's going to be the best ganker in the game.
Oh, man.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And I know that one of Nintendo's weaknesses throughout the last season was not getting enough farm for himself and being a low-impact player. If you just get to camp mid lane, pretty much guarantees some gold income for yourself.
Yeah, it fits them really well.
Yeah, I like it. Evil Geniuses, their next two picks, they said, okay, Gragas for the mid lane. And what's funny here is I know Faker counterpicks Gragas with LeBlanc, and Pilbart was like, no, I'll Gragas into LeBlanc, it's fine. Or it could be jungle.
Could be, actually. I know that Pobelter does what he wants most of the time. And also, it could be to counteract the potential roam. Shifter doesn't necessarily try and dominate his lane opponent as much as he does the rest of the game. And Gragas is one of the fastest shovers in the game, especially if he's left to his own devices.
Let's see what they do with this one.
Looking
at... Ooh, Nasus is locked in, and it could be the 3 in the row for Varus. Unfortunately, Coast haven't found any success yet, but they're still liking a lot of their champion picks here, it seems.
Nasus is probably Zion Spartan's best tank pick as far as it goes. He plays Nasus extremely aggressive. He'll often go like Frozen Heart first, straight into a Trinity Force.
Yeah.
We saw him do that very successfully back in the promotion tournament.
Yeah.
I like that stack armor pick against Inox's very early Riven. We might see some quick lane swapping in this one.
It is a bit of a double-edged sword, just in that he had one game where he hard carried and one game where, I believe it was Walking Zed, like used that to their advantage and just said, yeah, you're going to be alone there, we're going to do a whole bunch of other stuff before you're useful. And Zion kept prioritizing farm instead of showing up for his team. Here we go, the Dr. Mundo picked up, so Inox actually gonna go back to this one. Jungle Riven or Jungle Gragas?
I think it's Jungle Gragas.
Yeah.
And I really like how EG switched everything up here. We should have seen this coming, because as soon as they picked the Riven, and even the counter pick that we saw in the mid lane didn't make much sense to us. So now Zion Spartan is put in a bit of a strange situation where he has to lane up against Mundo, and the armor stacking wouldn't necessarily work. It's still a low pressure lane, and NASA should be able to farm fairly well, but the rest of the matchup just got switched up a whole bunch.
And Riven versus LeBlanc does not sound fun for LeBlanc. I feel like you can shield the harass, you can all in pretty well. The only saving grace is like maybe you can silence all the wind slashes and get away.
I think it's pretty much a skill matchup. If LeBlanc can keep her distance, it's generally good. Early on, Riven can definitely shove in a little bit if Pobelter gets a bit of a lead on Shifter, but mostly those are just two squishy, really high damage champions going against each other.
All right, we'll see how it pans out, guys. As the teams load into the Rift, let's check in with who you think is going to take home the next win. And according to LOLesports.com, 85% think that Evil Geniuses are going to come out on top. Well,
where's the love for Coast?
It's
I
gone.
mean, obviously they're 0-2, but yikes. There's a lot of EG supporters here. They did look very good against COG yesterday. And COG looked very good against Curse today. EG beats COG. Coast has no chance.
It's true. It's true. It's how that one goes. Or maybe they've just turned their fates around. As it's going to be a fun one. Like, it's explosive teams. It's a lot of damage output.
So we should probably talk a bit more about these team compositions, because they definitely had some switch-ups. It's the second Jungle Gragas we've seen in 3 games. The first one we saw got a blue buff stolen away from him, so we never really got to see how Jungle Gragas impacts games. We should get to see it this time from Snoopy.
Okay, here we go, guys. Into the game. Coast looking for their first win, sitting at 0-2 so far. They'll have played all 4 of their games by the end of the day. EG sitting at 1-2. They've turned their fates around fairly recently, but they're playing their last game of the week. Looking to end this one with a tied score.
And finally, Freak, they're not doing the defensive line at the start of the game.
No.
EG may actually be trying to make some type of early play with Gragas. If they rush to this brush, they have a chance of invading WizFusion with a Thresh hook. He's got to be very careful where he goes. How's his hook dodging skills right now? He's trying to fade back, but he sees him.
He sees him. The cleaver does not land. Kreppel's going to flash Q, and it hits. WizFusion is going to go down. No ifs, ands, or buts. Goodbye. Inox, first blood. He's going to like that one.
That was a nice play by EG. If every team is going to do exactly the same thing every time at level 1, it's absolutely punishable. Even if that Thresh hook didn't land, it would have made a more gankable lane for the rest of EG later. But they got the flash. They also got it before wards could go down, so they know that their invades can continue to be successful. They might try to get him again as somebody walks to lane.
Oh, man. Daydreaming. WizFusion.
Here it comes.
It hits, and goodbye. 41 gold apiece. And those are some pretty nice assists to have. Oh, EG, you have started this game out rather nicely.
Everyone on the team roaming expertly. And see, this is the type of level 1 advantages we've been waiting for teams to start taking. Really nice hooks by Krepo there, landing both of them. And WizFusion, he has to hug the wall there.
Yeah,
he may already be on a bit of tilt this time. 2 unfortunate checks for him, but especially the second one could have been avoidable. He was walking in the middle of the lane, should have expected EG to stick around.
Yeah, all right, so Evil Genius is a great level 1. However, for Coast, they've actually got a better jungle position early on because they've stolen away their opponent's red buff. And I don't feel like Snoopy can steal away either the red or blue on Coast side of the map.
Doesn't look like it. One thing that I will say, though, is counter jungling isn't nearly as effective early on in the game. Knowing that there is 4 camps to clear, and the fact that Snoopy got his important blue buff, since Gragas is very mana heavy early in the jungle, and look how fast he was able to clear the remaining race out of that one. I think he should recover. WizFusion gets hooked again!
And he's on top of a trap, and he's gonna be going down. No, he's not the barrier! Okay,
yes,
he is. I take it back, guys. It happened. Daydreaming left alone in the lane. Yellow Pete, 2-0-1 at 2.5 minutes.
Fantastic start for EG right there. WizFusion clearly not with his head in the game at this point. He's 0-3, 3 minutes in. That has got to be some type of unfortunate record that he now holds.
Yeah, and speaking of Counterlogic Gaming, their 4-kill win, yeah, like we're basically at that mark already at 25 minutes. I mean, just speaking of unfortunate records, I mean. All right, CLG had that one happen. EG still looking pretty good. WizFusion back in the lane, 5 CS, couple of potions.
Still level 1,
yeah.
Unfortunately, too. And Varus is supposed to be very strong in the lane as well. They picked it because he will be able to lend some more crowd control later on in the game. So Varus isn't generally thought of as someone who needs to carry the game, but he does need to do better than this.
Definitely does right here. And then Nintendude, maybe it's going to be partially on him. He's got 3 buffs now. He's probably got the best start of anyone on his team. And so you say, okay, well, Nintendude, what can you do on one of your favorite champions in Olaf? Let's see where he goes with this one. Shifter actually, yeah, I called it wrong. Pabelter actually held back early on. Looks like he actually recalled once for some wards.
Well, he got all those wards because they got the kills early on in the game.
He had recalled for that at the beginning?
And they're going to make it more difficult for Nintendude X to actually jungle, or sorry, to gank. And this is going to mean Nintendude sits back and jungles mostly, which is why Snoopy feels pretty good about trying to make this gank happen.
Oh, it's not been seen. There he is right there. Does not land the body slam, though. Just some harass. And now it's actually the Olaf of Nintendude who's around. Pabelter rooted in place. Nintendude shows up here. Nothing going to happen.
Yeah, just staring at each other. But you can already see Snoopy's level 4 just like Nintendude, not too far behind. And Inox really trying to make a kill happen. All these Mundos. It's weird. You almost always see a Mundo with teleport because his main goal is to survive in lane, usually. Nasus is an even bigger passive laner.
Yeah.
so he can actually get aggressive here. If Inox would have taken something like an Ignite, he probably could have taken advantage of Zion Spartan early on, but he hasn't, and he's just pushing up to the turret instead.
Instead is going to be the flay onto Daydreamin'. A little bit of damage there. Yellow Pete dropped dangerously low as well. Fusion not going to land the piercing arrow. So just a lane trade there, but you know, for what it's worth, the lane's stabilized a bit because Yellow Pete hasn't gone back to buy anything, so Coaster holding on now at least to this lane.
Yeah, and they're definitely a little rattled, I still feel like. Once the shopping happens, it's going to get much, much worse.
Oh, yeah.
For WizFusion and Daydreamin', especially with how hot Crepo feels right now with his hooks. He is just on fire.
I mean, with those EG jackets, like, they're pretty warm. He's got to feel hot here under the lights, but also...
Making a basketball reference, freak.
Okay.
Wasn't making a physical warmth.
Missed it.
NBA Jam.
Yeah, no, I got you.
All right,
I was already in my own head thinking about the pun, and so I tuned you out. This is how casting works, by the way. I don't listen to my co-casters.
Okay.
I'm good like that. 1,500 gold on Yellow Pete, though. When he recalls, he has a BF sword. But right now, Coast looking to make things happen in the bottom. Problem is, Tendu was sitting on a ward, so nothing's going to happen there by Coast.
I wonder how long Pete's going to farm out the lane here, because the advantage has been given to them, and he actually wants to level up a little bit just so we can transition into some type of team fight. Like BF sword at 3 minutes is nice, but you're still incredibly squishy at that point. So now he's going back to base. He should be able to get his BF sword, a little bit of more stuff, and just continue to dominate that lane.
And actually, EG have a freeze on this lane now. So the recalls both coming in unison. Boots and Vamp Scepter versus BF Sword and Consumables. Evil Genius is going to have way more minions to kill at the end of this one. They'll get even farther ahead.
Yeah, so we know how the bottom lane works at that point. Still can't talk about the early game invade enough for EG. It was very strong. I'm wondering when Coach is going to try and start roaming with Shifter, because he's level 6 at this point, and heck, if they can get a kill for something like this, it would be great.
Root on the pillow, he is level 6, but the teleport comes in. Do they have the damage here? Belter,
one more axe.
One attack to go. Nintendo's not going to go for it here, but Shifter will. Forces the flash and gets him anyway, but the trade kill is back onto Olaf. Now Daydreamin' alone does not dodge the briefcase at all. Slows Inox, no big deal. Zion Spartan actually stays top.
That's actually a good trade for Coast when all is said and done. It was a gank attempt by EG that got turned around by a teleport from Inox, but it's still just a 1-for-1, and Zion Spartan gets a little bit more freedom in that lane. Inox loses some of his bully potential, but does become 2-0. We'll see if he can actually use those 2 kills that he's been given and shut down Zion Spartan at all.
Well, last time they won, Inox got big on Mundo. Doesn't quite land the shot under Daydreamin'. Just the poke. Coast still just in damage control mode bottom lane. They're actually, I mean, for a damage control lane, like, they're holding up in minions. It's not too bad. Snoopy getting to grab his own blue buff. They've got a non-blue buff reliant mid laner. Inox, though, getting hit really hard right now. Does have flash. Zion's out of mana and doesn't quite do the damage. There he is! Zion, can you get out of the turret in time? Those shots hurt hard. Zion survives, gets the kill.
I really wonder why Inox didn't decide to flash away from that once Zion Spartan came under the turret, because he had an opportunity to escape with his life. But instead, Zion, without shopping, was able to pick up a kill on Nasus. That is a very great start for him in that lane now. Really, him and Shifter are going to have to do the lion's share of the work right now, since Fusion, despite staying up in farm, is still tremendously far behind his lane opponent in Yellow Pete.
I guess the thankful thing for a Fed AD carry is, by the way, you've got Wither and LeBlanc, so you can just get rid of him throughout these fights. Jinx pretty auto-attack focused.
Yep.
So I feel like there's like some mitigating circumstances here for Coast if Shifter can keep doing well. Pobelter early Hex Drinker to try to survive this lane. Definitely a lot closer lane than I thought it was going to be. And we'll see how this pans out, really. No really huge moves have happened outside of sort of lane fights now since the beginning of the game.
Got to see how Snoopy transitions this one, because this is a much more successful Jungle Gragas than before, but he still hasn't made much of an impact. His early game presence helped with the level 1 kills when he was able to chain with his body slam after the hooks. But for now, he's going to try and focus on objective control and getting to his big ticket items. This is the dangerous point in the game for Jungle Gragas, where if he doesn't get a lot of stuff going, the other team can catch up on him.
Let's see what they do. Inox rooted in place. Not too much happening to him. He's going to be safe for this one. Crepa looks for a hook, does not find it. Dragon still being contested. Zion Spartan has TP, and there is a ward down there. That's been swept out, though. Nintendo forced away. I don't think Coast has the control here. Looks like EG can take this one, but Coaster's still lurking around. They're just not going to go in that hard. Dragon picked up by EG, 1-0.
I think there was definitely a little bit of indecision there by Coast because they abandoned their lanes to look at the Dragon while Zion Spartan was just in the top lane. If they were going to give it up without any contestation right there, they should have just been pushing their lanes so that when EG came back, they would actually lose some to the turrets. When all was said and done, EG got an uncontested Dragon, and Coast did not get many advantages for it aside from some Nasus.
So 2,000 gold puts Evil Geniuses ahead right now from their kills, from their Dragon control, everything all combined together. But Zion Spartan, 130-ish on his Q. Inox going back in for the fight right here, of course. This is a flash for one of them. It's going to be the Wither onto Inox, and Zion disengages. Okay, not much here.
Yeah, Inox wants some space. He popped his ultimate. He's telling Zion Spartan to go away, but it's just the rank 1 Mundo ultimate. It's not nearly as healy as the other ranks of the Mundo ultimate, and Zion Spartan, with those Q stacks, is life-stealing quite substantially right now. I wonder if Inox's time is done.
And then we'll see, of course, Zion rush the Spectre's Cowl as well for the regen, just to keep himself okay in this lane. Snoopy's still doing the farm on the side of the Gragas, but he's near the top lane. They could force Zion out, maybe.
Interestingly enough, it might be a good idea for Pobelter to swap and fight against Zion Spartan, because the Riven would actually be able to destroy Zion Spartan's magic resist only build. But here's actually the roam from Shifter trying to make an impact.
He engages on 2-on-2, and looks like EG doesn't want this at all. Shifter dropped low. I'm surprised they didn't want that fight with that much burst available.
They knew that Inox's ultimate was down on Mundo, so they didn't really want to engage in a full 2v2, and they may have thought that Nintendo would have been there because it's a little bit unusual to have a mid laner up without a jungler, but that's just the way Coast plays.
When you know, Shifter is still waiting in this brush here, actually baiting Zion a little bit as his bottom lane sits around. Shifter coming around this side now. Fight might start. Zion Spartan puts the slow onto Gragas. Do they have the fight they need? Snoopy has a little bit of mana still there. Zion's going to kite backwards. Burst comes off, and Snoopy goes down. Shifter going to root a minion. Unfortunate there, but goodbye.
Well, Coast is making the transition now, where Shifter is the ganker, and we can see Nintendo is just planted in that mid lane, farming up and fighting against Pobelter. Let's see if this can get them back into the game. So far, so good, because that was a strong kill onto Snoopy's jungle Gragas.
Very good start, or I guess sort of follow-up here then for Coast. Nintendo still in the trade sort of game right there. No one to save him in this lane, though. Just has to fight Pobelter. Bottom lane still, like, I'm just impressed by the fact that WizFusion and Daydreamin are just staying minus 10 CS the entire way through. Like, that's got to be so hard being in a disadvantaged lane, and like,
it is true.
Nothing's happening from Crepo and Yellow Pete.
Yeah, Pete and Crepo have kind of lost their edge aggression-wise in this lane. You would expect that after getting 2 kills in the first before the minion spawned and then a 3rd kill right away would mean that the lane would be over, but they haven't even taken a turret. There's been a little bit of attention paid to that lane by Nintendo, and I think they're being more careful not to give anything back rather than capitalize on what they already have. And we'll see if that's going to be the death of them in that lane.
Well, a bit of an item spike as Yellow Pete finishes Bloodthirster before WizFusion gets the combine money for it. So another bit of an advantage there. Didn't do much with BF Sword versus Vamp Scepter, but maybe sort of round 2 will work a little bit better here. Shifter Pobelter still in battle, and Shifter has already completed now his Deathfire Grasp, the first like tier 3 item really completed for this lane. Crepo doesn't find anything here. Sweeps wards.
Ward.
Yeah. Whoop.
No.
One more. Oh.
Wow. That was a fantastic reward by Daydreamin right there. Thinking that Crepo was most likely just attacking the closest thing. As soon as he placed the other ward down, it ate one of his auto attacks and stopped the other ward from dying.
Yeah, that had to have been what happened. He wouldn't stutter otherwise. That's why you right-click on the wards. That's why you should just make sure you're hitting what you want to hit. Well, nice little move right there. Keeps his ward alive for the next 30 seconds.
I don't know what the real benefit is, because now he's just got 2 wards next to each other.
But it
still looked really cool.
See farther into the river, Jat.
Yeah, there you go.
You might like watch him see a Snoopy gank because of that. It'd be hilarious. Zion Spartan in the battle with Inox and winning it. Look at this. Doing a bunch of damage. Inox will eventually be forced to ulti to survive. Zion in the battle of tanky, fighter-ish top laners. Zion's looking good.
Yeah, he's got plus 216 already on his Nasus Q, only 14
really
minutes
good.
in. And considering Mundo has went up there with a couple of kills, very strong.
Doesn't quite have the damage, but dodges the Gragas ulti. Doesn't take more than a 60-second item cooldown and his short cooldown ultimate to burn a pretty large amount of stuff from EG.
Yeah, nice little set of moves there by Shifter, and with the blue buff, he might actually start going back to roaming. It's surprising that his farm has stayed up so high with all the time he spent top.
There's a flash play in, but the Lulu ulti might just keep them alive. The root back on a Crump of this battle is going. There's the Jinx, putting out so much pain. Flash by Fujin, keeps him alive against the chain, but here comes Inox. We've seen this before. Inox killing a bunch of dudes with Teleport Mundo. He's got one. He's gonna get two and get traded back. Can Zion do much else? No mana on him, I doubt it.
Still, that's kind of EG taking a little bit back in that lane. Surprisingly, they don't lose any bottom laners, but with this roam from Shifter, let's see if he can pick up a Crepo.
Can he get across the wall in time? In range, flashes, and gets it. And he gets rooted before he can... Oh, wait, no, that was his clone. I got tricked out right there. Shifter gets away safely.
3-0 on Shifter right now. Let's see if the counter push can come from the mid lane. Pobelter trying to take his turret down and give EG, surprisingly, the first turret of the game.
He's close to it. He's going to shield it. That's going to be the turret. 250 gold to Pobelter for his troubles here. Brutalizer done as well, but, you know, the only 3 assists he has were from the level 1s.
Now let's take another look at this fight. You can actually see Coast played most of this really well, considering they were down a lot of itemization. Dodging the hooks, not getting too screwed over by the box, and staying in it were very good things. It was only the ward positioning of that teleport. Whoop. Dead Riven as well.
Yeah, 2-on-1, pretty easy fight, especially for a Fed LeBlanc. Use DFG again there. Not a big problem for this guy. So Coast, individual plays, especially from Shifter. This is looking good for these guys. Bloodthirsts are also done to the bottom lane. They've even matched items in the bot lane here. Fujin really coming back into his own.
Yeah, the objective control is still strong from EG though, and despite the roam of Shifter, they're sticking together and staying with their game plan. Now a 3,000 gold lead for EG, and just having one Fed LeBlanc on a team that is losing is something that EG can actually deal with here.
Yes, it is. So here we go. Zion, though, not really being answered. He's been actually left alone multiple times here to push this lane down. Gets the first turret, gets the farm from his Nasus Q.
Plus 255.
Yep, going higher. 15 per minute is the mark I try to think about in top lane. He's hitting that pretty successfully so far. And it's just a good place for him to be. Goes back before Inox returns to the lane. And it's kind of Zion being able to do what he wants. He's been given a lot of freedom here. He got to rush early cooldown reduction. Pilfer is going to die. Shifter does a whole bunch of damage there. Like,
wow.
Mid lane is just like ended.
So
basically.
they actually, they killed the Pobelter twice within the cooldown for his Hex Drinker.
Ouch.
That's one of the reasons he was able to spike him down so quickly.
Yeah, the first time he needed Nintendo, dude.
So even though the gold, even though the gold is different, like we said, the solo laners are going to have to do the lion's share for Coast. Zion Spartan seems to be a little unstoppable by Mundo in the top lane, and Shifter has clearly taken control of Pobelter in the mid lane based on the last 2 kills. If they can get WizFusion and Daydreamin to do anything positive for them, they might actually be in position to turn this game around.
Well, you're seeing them push the bottom lane right here. They're going to be soon assaulted, though, by the EG duo lane. Coast actually stays, but this could get them trapped up. It does. Will they get the hook? No, not quite. Hasted away by Lulu. LP taking a bit of poke, but Coast now 2-1 on turrets. A lot of things going their way here. Zion not going to chase Inox.
No, Zion just sticking around for some more minion kills. He's actually not even queuing Inox. He's queuing the minions to get more and more stacks. He is definitely in full farm mode, and I think he's going to be a rather scary person if he can get to the right targets in teamfights. It's very hard for Nasus to navigate his way through the Flame Chompers of Jinx and all of Thresh's stuff.
And Blue Buff went to Yellow Pete here, interestingly. They didn't give it to Snoopy again. They said, all right, you know, you've got enough mana for the lane. Death Cap's almost done. Yellow Pete, go spam more stuff. EG groups to the mid lane in time. They're not going to get caught out in the rotation here. That's a good call by them. They know the next turret available is his mid lane. They're ready for it.
Very low turret pushing in this game. Comes from the standard lanes a little bit, but the most miraculous thing to me is that the turret in the bottom lane is still alive for Coast.
Yeah.
The wave clear, obviously, of Lulu is very strong.
Oh.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. EG needs to get a better ward set in their jungle right now. Otherwise, Shifter's going to continue to grow. Now Inox has the same problem. Another LeBlanc coming for him.
Inox gonna go down. Zion Spartan picks it up, getting another +6 on his Q for that one. Second kill has done that here. Nintendo flayed into the turret, and he doesn't even pop the ulti. Has confidence that he'll get out. Just the haste from Lulu, and he does.
Yeah, this is turning into a fantastic performance by Shifter and Zion Spartan to really just two-man this team, put it on their backs, and it's enabled by that whole jungler wave push thing I was talking about. Nintendo holds that middle lane oftentimes and allows Shifter to make those roam plays, but still, they are just destroying EG because they can't keep track of where Shifter is going.
So EG instead try to make some moves of their own then. They send Cobalt into the bottom lane. He split pushes that one down successfully. I guess as far as wave is concerned, the melee champion, probably not chosen for defense. So he gets that one at least. Shifter's going to go back to mid, though, to sweep these up. I'm wondering what EG's game plan is then if by standing around they're just getting picked off.
Well, I think they're hoping to get a few team fights. They have generally controlled the dragon quite well, and you can see with a pink ward in that brush, they were just trying to get some of the ward control back and maybe get a catch or two of their own. Crepo has been on point with a lot of his death sentences so far this weekend, and they're just waiting for another opportunity to do so.
See what they can do with this one. Crepo not in range yet for that hook. WizFusion is walking forwards. Nope, gets the cannon minion, but Crepo's still looking forward. Goes for the flash play, lands it, but WizFusion flashes away. No box hits. Nice try by Crepo.
There's definitely a little bit of panic in the way EG was playing there. That's not quite the right word for it. Urgency is a better one. Crepo really committed hard for what would have been just one kill, and there was also not an objective to take afterwards. That's not the best thing to go all in on, and he's now down almost all of his spells. They need to somehow get control of their lanes, but they can't do that until they have control of their jungle. Otherwise, LeBlanc is just going to go wherever she wants and continue to kill them. That's really what's crushing EG right now.
So a 6-0-1 LeBlanc. The bane of evil geniuses right now. Maybe that's part of why it was banned away from Hotshot GG so much. The playmaking potential really high right now for Shifter. The jungle not well controlled. Very few wards actually for evil geniuses. A lot more actually for Coast. And you're seeing them try to run around. The sweeper's being used. They actually double sweeper in an accident.
Yeah. One thing we do need to note is that Snoopy has finished his Rabadon's death cap.
Yeah.
So that really long period of time after completing his Spectral Wraith to getting his second item has been navigated, and he will have a very strong presence in the upcoming team fights, assuming he can land his Gragas barrels.
Assuming he can. I feel like he can. I feel like he's an experienced player who's got to have at least some experience with his champion to land this stuff. EG are going to group up actually for the dragon here. Everyone making their way to this side of the map. Red buff on the table right now for Coast, but they might not get to get it right here. Actually, same now true for Evil Geniuses on the other side of the map. Ward control actually at first is Coast's favor. Going to push EG back, sweep away the wards. There's not a lot of vision now for the Evil Geniuses. Coast running in for this one. The Dragon, they're going to start this one right away.
They're daring EG to get this one. It's all about who Shifter can get the most damage on when they decide to come in. I feel like EG really wants to contest this one, but they give the Dragon away. Now they're on the retreat.
They get the root on a Snoopy. He's going to run back. Shifter gets caught out though, forced a double dash away. No burst left. Cobalt are dropped dangerously low. Zion Spartan still in front though. The tank line holding strong for Coast. And Zion now on the run trying to get out. Forced to flash. Jinx ulti already on cooldown. Coast escapes with their lives and with the dragon kill.
Excellent hook by Crepo at the start of that fight, but EG still couldn't capitalize on anything. That's not a very good sign. Zion Spartan just went right back to farming. He's working on a Trinity Force, and EG wants to get something back here because they feel like they made a play there, but really, they just gave up a dragon and didn't get kills for it.
And they don't even get much pressure over the mid lane as well. Smite from Nintendo removes the last minion. Zion actually still pushing the bottom lane unanswered. EG have not found anything to do. Zion wards for himself, keeps the turret pressure, and look at this chunk. Good, like 8 to 10% of the turret's health every Q. That's dropping down. Next wave, no one answers.
Plus 390 right now. Muno's trying to answer, but he's going to ignore that guy.
For now, but then the briefcases. Maybe. There we go, though. Yellow Pete. We'll see. It's going to be close. Yellow Pete wins it. Life stealing up through the fight. That was a very good thing. Very good thing by EG.
Shifter must have just mismanaged what he was doing there because there should be no reason why he couldn't instantly kill Yellow Pete in that situation. Level 13 Jinx to a very strong LeBlanc.
Unless Barrier was somehow enough. I don't.
Barrier might have been enough.
You
Very nice play, or just a miscalculation by Shifter there. Let's take a look exactly what happened. Let's see where he used his DFG. So Okay, so he missed his chain right there, and he does DFG a combo, but it was a combo without a chain, and then he overchased into the Flame Chompers so Yellow Pete could turn it around. It's because he flashed so early after seeing Shifter that most of his burst was down. That was very well played by Yellow Pete.
Yeah, didn't manage to get the second proc on the R, I suppose, because he had already used the W dash. Well played. Coast gonna just go back into their own jungle. Zion Spartan actually gonna wear the red buff here. All right. Sifo Belter going to clear away the jungle. So now suddenly you've got, all right, Shifter must, I mean, of course he must, but he must land the full combo to get rid of anyone on the opposing team. So if Yellow Pete can keep outplaying, he's going to be fine. There's the Negatron Cloak picked up as well. So soon that's going to be Spectre's Cowl, and Yellow Pete's going to have a much better time against Shifter here.
Yeah, EG has made some really critical item breakpoints here. We already talked about the death cap, but the double Negatron Cloak on both of their mid laner and bottom laner are just huge for them. If Shifter can't delete somebody from a fight, his power goes down almost twofold.
Absolutely it will, and of course the AD carries, you know, that Negatron Cloak basically got to be free for Yellow Pete. Inox still getting chased. I don't know, does Zion really have the damage? Red buff just not quite enough to win the duel, but now I see why he was given it. Inox actually back on the chase. He's got friends coming up soon.
It's all about that Trinity Force for Zion Spartan, giving him that extra move speed to chase down people. It's his style of Nasus. Instead of going for the two big defensive items, he rushes whatever is the most relevant to his lane opponent and then goes for the Trinity Force. He'll probably get like the Randwinds or the Frozen Heart next, but it just, you can see why he does this, because he is so potent as a solo person right now.
And I'm surprised, though, that he didn't do like Iceborne Gauntlet, because that's going to be really hard to run away from.
Well, you saw it was almost impossible to run away from him as is now. Just the move speed he got from the Trinity Force combined with the Wither and the cooldown reduction was enough to just make Inox completely tuck tail.
Well, Coast in control a little bit. Woof! That's without the E. That might have been enough damage if he had it.
And he's going to be wanting that death cap. He's trying to get the large rod right now. Oh, the Crepo flash hook doesn't give them anything. That's another overly aggressive move by Crepo where the team wasn't quite ready to follow up.
I'm surprised he feels so compelled to make plays when EG are only down like 1,200 gold. That's basically nothing at this stage. Like, we keep talking about how Coast are winning super hard and how threatening Shifter is, and that's true. But EG should be as powerful as a team.
It might be because of what's happening in the other lane. Zion Spartan has generally been beating up Inox, but you know, Zion may have overstayed his welcome a little bit there. Whoa!
Good lantern by Pete. He might have dodged it anyway, but now the fight back in. Actually, Zion Spartan with the ulti. One hit to go to win this one. No. Snoopy says, Zion Spartan, though, life-stealing chunks back with his
This could be Baron, though. Look at how much EG put towards him.
So many people. That is the kill picked up by Pobelter, and here comes the start on Baron. Now, can Nintendo take it up enough? Crepo is around. There's the ward. Can the team show up? Gragas is far away. Is it going to be a miracle steal? I don't think so. The teleport, nope, there we go. It's picked up. WizFusion, though, not in a good spot. He's going to fall down. 3v5 on the map, and Coast is on the run, but do they have anywhere to go?
They are on the wrong side of the Baron pit right now, and EG's chasing them down.
Daydream is going to fall. That's 3 kills now unanswered. Shifter up to his own devices. Nintendude recon this brush. Wait, really? Man, that minion is a hero. He died, but
MVP
valiantly.
right there. But look out, Crepo. Oh, no.
Goodbye, Crepo. Shifter picks that one up. A little bit too heroic by the Belgian, but yeah, they just get out away from his corpse. So, unfortunate move there.
Yeah, EG actually split up too much when they were trying to chase after Coast right there. And if we calculate what actually happened, the gold stays pretty close because all the deaths that Coast suffered, but the Baron still goes. You can see they were very low while taking this Baron. Nasus not being there really affected their damage, and Inox just gets to go to town when he's inside that Baron pit. It's about Yellow, Crepo, and Inox trying to chase down. You can see all 5 of them are closing in, but Shifter was on top of a ward. EG is just going for the support because that's the only thing they could find. And then they split up, and you can see why they got picked off there.
Yeah, well played then by Evil Geniuses to get some of the kills back here. Remove some of those Baron buffs. Only 2 members wearing it now. That's Nintendude and Shifter. Zion Spartan starting up this Dragon attempt, though. That's going to be pretty secure here for Coast. So global objectives are really, really going Coast's way, which to me surprised me a bit because Coast's strength had normally been on laning and Shifter like going and killing people, but they're actually the team that's got the turret pressure, they're getting the dragon control, they're getting the Baron control. Coast's gold is coming from objectives here.
Well, they got all those things because Shifter was taking over. They didn't have those things until he got really farmed, and now that his death cap is completed, even with all the defensive itemization on EG, there's still a few targets that he can take down. If he gets any type of closeness to Snoopy, for instance, he will kill him even if he doesn't land his full combo. So there's really two giant threats on Coast right now with LeBlanc and Nasus.
Oh, Daydreaming caught up again. Gonna have to self-ulti soon. He does survive for now. Pobelter has a Guardian Angel. The teleport is coming in from Zion
Nasus.
Spartan. He is here for this fight. Inox getting locked up a fair bit. He gets bursted out by Shifter and everybody else, but the trade kill is there from Snoopy, killing off Daydreaming.
Yeah, Mundo's only sitting on 121 magic resistance, so Shifter actually used all of his burst right into that. Also, the zap from Yellow Pete was a little bit mistimed. He was trying to hit Zion Spartan as he came in with the teleport, but he launched it too early, and it did not help his team.
Not so much. Yellow Pete loses the Banshee's Veil. He actually is still was still building defensive items, only now finished that, whereas Wish Fusion is already part of the way over towards Last Whisper. So damage output-wise, Coast getting a small edge on their AD carry. We'll see if that matters for much here. Pobelter still on the side lane push, and EG just stuck now inside their base with only a 3,000 gold deficit. Like I'm just surprised seeing this gold, how behind EG feels.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because of the power of Zion Spartan and the power of Shifter. Plus, Coast is just playing around their carries very smartly, whereas EG, even though they are stronger as a group, are getting picked off by the mobility of LeBlanc and the split push of Nasus, if that makes sense, because no one can take Zion Spartan 1v1. Therefore, it's 2 or 3 people, and that means Shifter is free to pick off whoever is roaming around. It's really just dominating solo lane play by Coast.
Very well done by these guys then. And I still got to credit their duo lane for at least holding up in a very rough beginning. Coast still looking for the ward coverage. 5 of the 6 outer turrets are down. Looks like only mid lane is the one left, and EG don't look like they want to give this one away. 10 dude, the split pusher right now up top. Got a bit of a break while we wait for Coast to start sieging, I'm guessing.
I don't know if we're going to see a full siege from them, more so than we're just going to see Zion Spartan try to take as many people on as he can, and the rest of Coast trying to kill a turret. Whichever side gets more help from EG is going to be the side that falls back, and then Coast is going to trick the other one.
See if they can make this happen. And Zion definitely creating pressure over there. The Frozen Heart, you called it, that is done. So max CDR for this Nasus. A lot of defensive stats as well. Plenty of lifesteal, Trinity Force, all kinds of fun.
Just some numbers, 2.4 second cooldown on his Q. It is plus 513 right now in physical damage. Plus the Trinity Force proc that he's going to be getting with it is going to be a whole lot of pain. He can take on probably 2 people at a time. I think they'd have to send 3.
Oh my gosh. 3v1s. Good luck. Here we go. Coast looking for the top lane there. Here's the split they're going for. LeBlanc actually still mid. And Coast begin to knock at this top turret's door. EG moving forward. They might go for the fight here. Looks like Zion's going to trade with Inox for a bit.
Yeah, and Zion is actually walking up whenever he can to get a pot shot on the turret. He's already taken it fairly low. These turrets aren't going to last long for EG unless they go in and try and do something drastic. But that's why Coast is playing so far back. I mean, those Crepo flash hooks are the closest EG can get to doing stuff. Let's see this burst damage.
Whoa, look at the damage on the Inox. Shifter takes him down from about 2/3 health. Mundo dying when that all happens. Zion Spartan gets the slow into Pobelter. The poke actually coming across. Pobelter forced to flash. So afraid of the Coast damage.
I mean, half the inhibitor just went down. That could have been all of Pobelter if he would have stuck around for one of those Qs. This is the 2 powerhouses on Coast winning the game for their team.
Crepo goes in a little early, but can Snoopy find something else to do?
Right here.
Ulti comes in, knocks Daydream aside. Wiz Fusion off to the side. Good ulti. He's going to root up a couple. Crepo survives this one. Yellow Pete as well. The inhibitor, sorry, Nexus turrets, I keep calling him that, going to go down. So does Pobelter's Guardian Angel. That's all they're going to go for here. The rest of EG grouping towards the bottom. Man, those solo laners really...
The synergy right now between Shifter and Zion Spartan is just too damn high because they are crushing everybody on EG right now, especially Inox. It's a weird mental change to think you're Mundo and then be like, I gotta watch out for that assassin.
Seriously, what a rough spot for him. Starting what looks like a GA next. I haven't seen GA on Mundo in a good long time, but he is looking pretty afraid right here. At least just the stats, he needs them. Evil Geniuses still trying to defend, but they're getting their buildings knocked down slowly but surely. Dragon and Baron both coming up soon. Coast, they've got a good scouting of pink wards. Like, Coast still sees more of the map.
And of course they do. No one on EG has been free to go where they wanted ever since Shifter got about 6 or 7 kills. I think if EG could have gotten to their Negatron cloaks earlier, they have hit in the breakpoints, but once they got there, it was actually Zion Spartan who became unmanageable. There's too many things that I feel like have run away from EG at this point. And considering they actually had a gold lead when Coast started coming back, the deficit is larger than the gold would dictate.
Well, here we go, guys. The Baron is going down, and no one from EG even wants to contest. The ward coverage is enough for Coast. And look how many people are at the bottom side of the map watching out for Zion Spartan. Pretty much everybody. Nintendo gets the Baron. And he's just chilling.
Listen to some beats.
Yeah. By Snoop.
Zion Spartan is unstoppable, man. Let's take a look again. Obviously, he hasn't had to stack too many Qs because he's just been killing people, but it's at 552. It'll be 558 once he finishes off that dragon. Coast doesn't really need the gold from that dragon. They actually, since they picked up 2 major objectives, will be sitting on a fair chunk of it. But I don't see any reason why they don't just continue the plan that got them success the last time they pushed. Zion Spartan in the bottom. If he gets someone low, Shifter will stop between. He'll kind of play midfield right there and just go left or right. Desperation initiation. Let's see what EG can get.
Not much. The Varus ulti and a flash keeps them safe. Now Inox engaged upon Roots there in the Snoopy. Not much else found. Pabelta rejoining the team. Zion Spartan knocking on the Nexus. Pulling EG back, and that gives Coast control over the inhibitor. Pabelta off to the side. Nintendo taking damage. Belter jumping back. Millipede putting some damage across. Inox, oh my word.
Wow.
Goodbye. Crepo in the middle of the fray. Nintendo coming in. Crepo dropping lower and lower in health. Zion Spartan rejoining the fight. Down goes Pabelta. Down goes Snoopy. Down goes Crepo. Coast a 4-for-0 fight. 16-11 in the game. This is going to be the Nexus. No team in North America is undefeated. No team in North America is without a win. Coast picking up EG.
Parity seems king right now. Coast feels pretty good about that one. It was a rough start for them, especially for Wiz Fusion, but he has to thank his team right there for really coming together strong. And he played well in a sense of stopping his smaller squad from getting engaged on. The only point of Olaf, Varus, and Lulu in that team comp was to survive and give space for the solo laners to go and make plays in. And that's exactly what Coast did.
Yeah, absolutely great play. Shifter just taking over Zion Spartan as well. And you're seeing the smiles. These guys are now candidates for the All Smiles team. I think Daydreamin probably the biggest among them.
Yeah, we forgot about him when we were trying to make the squad because why wouldn't you be all smiles? Your lane and your lane opponent was 0-3 to start the game. Yeah. And you're just like, whatever, man, my team's good enough. We can still win this one.
They held up such a rough lane. BF sort of was Vamp Scepter, such a hard matchup to survive, and they did it beautifully on a slightly less picked support in Lulu, kind of Crepo getting what he wanted with the Thresh and saying, you know what, that's fine for me. Completely survived there. Coast bringing it back. So they're 1-2. They've got more games to play today. Yeah. And with Shifter and Zion playing this well, this brings hope for that team.
Yeah, and it's just been an upset-filled day when we think about it. Fan vote, first game, 56% Curse. COD crushed them. Second game, 90% for Cloud9. Dignitas wins. This game was 85% for Evil Geniuses, and it was definitely the closest of the three. But, man, Shifter and Zion Spartan really came up huge.
They really did. And you got to think about the other, just great factors in this game. It was Nintendo rushing the Olaf, getting 3 buffs for 1, kind of as payment for the 2 kills early game.
Yep.
EG spent a lot of time down there and said, okay, we're going to go for another hook. We're going to spend a lot of resources here, the whole team. And Coast made the change to say, okay, well, look, you're dying, whatever. We know the top set of the map is more open. From basically minute 1, there was already some adaptations on the side of Coast. Their play calling seemed a lot better this game. That's really good as well.
And team composition-wise, they just kind of made things work. They didn't have the strongest team fight coordination, but they did a really great job of having Shifter be everywhere at once. Zion Spartan by himself was immovable and unduelable, but they made it even more threatening just because Shifter was always there to finish people off. And then, of course, the turrets would just go down immediately.
Yeah, massive game from them. So